Hello. How's this? How's my microphone sounding today? Can you hear Peach screaming in the background? Well, she's not screaming, she's laughing. She's in the bath. Can you guys hear that? I just started. This is me getting ready. This is me tweeting and not paying attention. You want to talk about tapeworm this time? We could do that. How am I doing tonight? How am I doing tonight? Well, first I want to not see myself in this fucking thing. How am I doing? I am doing okay, yeah. Let's see, what have I done today? I woke up at 2, made food, played Animal Crossing, hung out with Peach, went outside with them, with the fam, walked around, broke out the slingshots, shot some trees, started to get bit by mosquitoes, came inside, ate lunch, did a call with Tyler, worked for half an hour, and now I'm doing this. Same shirt as yesterday. Yeah, this will be the same shirt I'm going to be wearing for the next couple days. Strangely enough, even when active, even when sweaty, I don't get dirty or stinky often. I'm not lying about that either. You can ask my friends. I'm not a frequent showerer. I change my underwear, but not so much my pants, shorts, and shirt as often. And I could put deodorant on like once a fucking week. I just don't stink. And I think it runs in my family too. My sister is like, we used to be 300 something pounds, and she's only like 5'2". Never fucking stunk ever. And she could be sweaty and whatever else. She just never was stinky and never super oily. And I don't know. It's just something. Yeah, I mean, I'm assuming they smell me. I'm close quarters with a lot of people. Or used to be. Before this. I smell my friends. I mean, if I'm the type of guy that if my friends smell good, I say, you smell good. Because I'm a nice person. And I compliment people when they smell good. But, I mean, I'm not... If you got really close to the armpit... I mean, I showered the day before yesterday. If you got really close, you could probably smell something. But it's not too bad. And Danielle happens to like it. She's weird. Because I'm not a fan of her smell. Oof. Just kidding. What do you guys want to do? You guys want to draw some pictures? Give me something to draw. I'll draw it. Today I drew... I don't want to spoil it. Today I drew a fly, a pooter fly. I drew a pooter fly, a little drippy blob, and a floating rat skull. Yeah. That's what I've done. What should I draw? Draw tic-tac-toe. Isaac. Guppy. Now, how about like something less? Give me something abstract. Takara, you want me to draw you? Okay, you got it. All right, I'm familiar with your... What the fuck happened? That wasn't a line. All right, is this going to work? Okay. I want better thickness. I require at least 12 thickness. Here you go. Flash is not wanting to do what I... Okay, you look like this, right? Okay, I'm doing this by memory. I can't even see your fucking icon anymore. There's your... But you're a cat. And then you got eyes like kind of over here. And this is IRL. This is what she looks like in real life. And then there's like drool. This is drool. And it kind of drips down here. Keeps dripping down. And then there's an ear. And another one. And you're like, I don't like that line. You're like kind of all curled up. Like this. And you're drooling on your butt. Oh, you have a tail. You have a tail too. Here's the tail. There's a hand. And this is you. And you're waving. Can you guys see this? I can't see my screen. Yeah, you can see it. There you are, Takara. Look. Let's add some more of that. You need another line there to make it look like a diamond. That's it. That is you, exactly. All right, next up, I saw Sonic. I'm going to draw Sonic from memory. Here we go. All right, Sonic has an eye and another one. And he's got like a nose. For sure it's like that. And he's got like a Homer mouth, right? Hello? Right, like this? Isn't it like this? And a little of these. He's got one of these little belly things. And then he's running. He's got like shoes. He's really kicking it up there with this shoe here. This is to show speed. And I don't think he needs arms. He's really happy though. And these are speed lines. Is that good? That's Sonic. That's Sonic the Hedgehog. It's a old video game. I don't know. You want me to draw myself, dude? I'm a fucking pro. You don't think I've drawn myself a million times? Okay, you start with an eyeball, and you put another one eyeball here. And you do glasses, and face, round. Round is the way you want to go. Don't need a nose. Not important. But you should probably get like a... I'm happy all the time. And no one needs a mustache. Mustaches look shitty when you cartoon them. And you go like this, you get a little ear here, and then what remains of what's going on up here. You got the receding hairline and 90% dick. And then like a thumbs up. Is the dick off screen? Oh, you can't see all the detail I'm adding. Oh my god. There's a vein on it. Yeah, that's me. Alright, what's next? What's next? I don't remember. Okay. I've seen somebody play Hollow Knight. This is what Hollow Knight looks like in my mind. It's just a mask. And then there's like, ooh. And like, kind of looks like some sort of beetle or something. There's a butthole. And then the guy's got hair. And he's kind of like, what? And like, there's attitude. It's like, what? Bro, haven't you seen me? Here's my sword. Wait, no. I got the sword. Here's the sword. Get him. Steven Spielberg. I can do that. Fucking Steven Spielberg. Okay, he's got a head shaped like this and a hat. He's got glasses. And a nose. And it's like all beard, but it's gray. And he's got like hair comes out of here. And he's like, we're making a movie. And he puts his finger up on his chin and he thinks about stuff like that. Spielberg. Draw chicken. Got this one. Chickens are easy. Look, whoop. And there's like this. I got one of these things. And then he's like, I thought they have that's a rooster. Rooster's got something on his head. There's all feathers. And then like, he's riding on a baseball bat. He flies on that. It's like enchanted. Bird up. I can't see your fucking profile picture. You guys have a tiny little icon, so it's very difficult to see. Draw Alex Pardee. No problem. He has glasses, right? Yeah, he has to have glasses. He just looks like a bald version of me. Let's see. Here he is. And there's like hairs. Wait, he has a beard. He has a goatee, right? Why can't I fucking remember what he looks like? This is what he looks like. There's a lot of this. And he's very serious. And then usually it's like has a hat on though, but something like one of these. And then like he's kind of all scrunched up. He's like, hey dudes. He's got hairy arms. And he's got his little, this is a brush. He's got his brush in his hand. That's him. I already drew myself. Draw my last dream. I had a dream last night that the family was out walking around looking for bugs, and whenever we would turn over a log, like a massive like 100 mosquitoes would come out and like go up our noses and in our mouths, and we were like choking and gagging. And then we were invited to some sort of business meeting that was in a Chinese food place, and the Chinese food place was 2 stories, but the ground was scooped out, so it's like almost like a bunk bed. Imagine like restaurant bunk beds where there's another floor above you, but it's like right above you. You could see the other people on the second story, and there was no railing. And they put us on the second story for some reason. And when they're walking us out, I'm like, this is dangerous. Like, we could fall right on these people eating like real easily. There's no railing here. And they're like, no, it's fine. Like we're renovating, and there eventually is going to be a railing. And then when we got ready to sit down, I noticed that the whole thing was toppling over, and the whole top floor crashed down on the bottom floor, and I woke up. That's my dream that I had last night. Okay. How long have I been on here? I promised Danielle I'd only be a half an hour, and I forgot to start my my thing. I think we're about the halfway point at this point. I'll draw a T-Rex, and then I'll answer questions. And we'll just chill. This is a chill stream. This is my T-Rex. Like that. I know T-Rexes don't have this, but he looks cool like this. I want to give him some fat thighs. And he's got like some berries that he's walking over a berry bush. That's him. Hi. Hi guys. Good? That's how they look. Thick in every way. Okay. Ask me your questions. I'll tell you no lies. What do you guys want to know? I want to see how many times you guys ask me when repentance is coming out. Well, it looks sad because all of his friends are dead. I don't know. Okay, and this is not. I'm not making fun of you in any way, shape, or form. But the worst questions that I ever get asked are like my opinions on what the best item and what expansion is and why. Like it just doesn't really doesn't do it for me. Like I don't know, guys. That's for you to decide. What is the diameter of my neck? I don't know. I guess above average. I'm 6'1", and a larger build. So proportionately, my neck is a little bit bigger than yours, on average. I don't watch anime, so I don't have a favorite. But if I was forced to choose, it'd be Ninja Scroll, because it's just straightforward and to the point. Just violence. Damn it. You guys are going too fast. Why does Isaac have so many poop? Too many poop. Why does Isaac has too many poop? Why Isaac has too many poop? That's correct. Isaac has too many poop because I like drawing it and I think it's funny, and I also think it's really awful. The idea of like a kid in the basement with feces all around him seems horribly abusive and terrible. And those are the things I like to dance around with Isaac. So I like to put things in. It's like, oh, it's funny, it's poop and whatever else. But it's like the idea of a child being locked in some place with feces on the ground signals a bunch of different terrible things. That, and I've always had a preoccupation with going to the bathroom, mostly because of my stomach issues as a kid. So I spent a great deal of time on the toilet as a kid. I had ulcers and a bunch of other stomach issues due to nerves. So there's a lot of time spent staring at the ground, like counting tiles and writhing in pain. So poop has a profound meaning for me. What did an average day look like for me when I was making Isaac? The original Isaac took about 3 months. It's hard to remember how it looked. It flowed really fast. There was a lot of sketching on paper, mostly ideas for items and how things would work, and trying to figure out ways to make the game feel more dynamic, random happenings and stuff like that. And then going back and forth with Florian on Skype and, kind of cracking the whip. He wasn't used to working so much, and I really wanted to get it finished fast, so I really pushed, and he really pulled it out of his ass. He really did a really good job. And that's it. It really wasn't even a full-time schedule. It was like a part-time 3-month work schedule. Because I think I was also working on a bunch of other things around that time too. I was bouncing back and forth with early prototypes for Super Meat Boy Forever, and I had designed Tapeworm at that time as well, and I had been working on some ideas for Mewgenics. So there's a bunch of other things that I was messing with at the same time. I did not like Fear Inoculum, the latest Tool album. I wish I did, but I didn't. I hate to say it, but it is bad. Like, it isn't something that I ever put on and think like, oh, I'd really like to hear this, or even like pick a song on there and like, here, I'd really like to hear this song. It felt like their worst. It felt like an album about wondering if you've lost your spark or your drive to make music, and the lyrics kind of felt like that, like, is it over sort of situation. And then there's it seemed a lot of referencing old songs. Like a lot of songs sound like pieces of old songs, which can be cool at times, but it just felt like, I'm a huge fan of Tool, and one of my favorite songs of theirs is Third Eye, which is one of their first really long songs, 13-minute song. And I love that song, and I love that song still. The reason why 13-minute songs are really cool is because they turn into different songs as they go. I don't want to hear a verse, chorus, verse, 13-minute song, and that's what the majority of those Tool songs are. So it sucks, but no, not a huge fan. I don't have a favorite villager in Animal Crossing. I'm not the kind of person that cares as much. And I don't really know them all, so I don't really care. Trying to scroll down without totally losing everything. Is Mewgenics ever coming out? Of course. Mewgenics is my big project, and it's had a difficult life cycle. So Mewgenics was conceptualized 9 years ago in Flash, and it was a game called 1,000 Kittens that I had prototyped with Tommy, and I really liked the prototype so much that I wanted to turn it into a game that we could make it kind of Animal Crossing-ish and have like a cat breeding simulation, and then you'd use the cats as avatars to play mini games, and that's kind of what the game was going to be. And we started working on it, and I really loved it. And I thought it had so much potential, and it was so wacky and insane and so weird. But I think I was the only person that thought that, and we kind of hit a wall. And Tommy just asked if we could work on something different, and we started working on Super Meat Boy Forever again, and then just kind of pushed it back. And I think Tommy said we had canceled it publicly, but I never wanted to cancel it. It was just something that we had to put down for a while. And then after I left Team Meat, I decided that that's what I really wanted to work on once I got all the big projects kind of out of the way. And Tyler's been working for the past year on engine stuff, like making a new engine for it. We posted some videos, some GIFs and stuff of like really early prototype for combat, like a lot of the meat and potatoes of the game. People are thrown by that because they think that I've changed what the original concept of the game was, but that's not true. So the original concept of the game is that you breed cats inside of a house, and then you use those you mutate those cats, you collect those cats, you take care of those cats, and then you use them to do other things with. That's exactly what the game is now, except there's a point to using them. There's a main game, essentially, which is a turn-based strategy game like Final Fantasy Tactics, and you use them and go on little mini randomly generated adventures with them. You can level them up and stuff like that. But everything else is essentially the same concept as it was before. Will the Basement Collection ever be released on consoles? No. There's a million reasons for that. That and the fact that like I don't want to have to deal with getting permission from everybody again to release on console, like all the different people that I worked with that a lot of contacts I still don't even have. It's not going to work. How old am I? I'm 40. I turned 40. I turned 40 on March 2nd. I don't know any good food recipes. How long have I been growing the beard for? I accidentally scrolled to the bottom, so I'm just going to scroll up a bit. This beard, I mean, I still trim the beard. It's just getting long, mostly because I'm not doing anything to it. I'll probably shave it once the quarantine stuff is over, but for now I don't really care. What's the last movie that I watched? That's a good question. The last movie that we watched, so every night we've been watching movies with Peach, and because she's at this age too where she really seems to get into the movies. And we watched Return to Oz last night, and I don't know how many of you've seen Return to Oz, but that movie's fucking great. Like, that movie is almost on the level of Labyrinth. It's really great. It doesn't have all the bells and whistles that Labyrinth does when it comes to how creative and over the top everything is, but it's so well done. It's so dark. I highly recommend watching it again or watching it for the first time. It's worth watching. It's super creepy. Kids also like it, and it's cool. I mean, I dig movies that are about kids, going into their imaginations to avoid something terrible or a traumatic event. And essentially, Return to Oz is Dorothy going and getting electroshock therapy because she's so obsessed with this imaginary world that she entered through her past trauma whenever everything was being torn apart by a tornado, that they send her to get shock therapy in a mental institution, and they basically send her away. And at the moment that they pull the switch to like erase her memory and an attempt to fix her, she recedes into Oz and goes on an adventure. That's what Isaac is, So I'm a sucker for stuff like that, and I thought it was really, really cool. Any more comics like Thicker Than Water? There have been times in the past where I definitely felt a want to make more comics. No doubt in my mind that eventually I might do something more directly autobiographical. I've always thought that when I'm like 60 or something, it would be cool to kind of do a graphic novel about my childhood or just the significant pieces of my life. Once I get there, I could see myself doing something like that. It's nice to be able to just do something by myself and not have to rely on anybody else too, or burden anybody else for that matter. So it could be fun, but for now, the closest thing you're going to get is when I venture back into promotional stuff for Mewgenics and I re-release the Mewgenics comic. No doubt I will write more Mewgenics comic stuff, which was really fun, and I think I did a good job with. Do I like the Pikmin games? Yes. I don't know who Flying Lotus is. Have I ever talked to John Romero? Yeah. John Romero used to live in Santa Cruz. Brenda and John lived here for a year or so, and they were teaching at UCSC, and we hung out with him quite often. He's a pretty fun guy, as is Brenda. Brenda's a ball of energy, and it was pretty surreal, like hanging out and playing games with them and having them come over and stuff was pretty cool. I mean, because Doom had a profound effect on me for sure as a kid, and the game was so punk rock. It's hard to understand how punk it was because we've become so desensitized to violence in video games and satanic imagery, but when it came out, it was significant. Like, it was the most metal fucking shit in the world, and nothing came close. Nothing really compared. I mean, the closest was Wolfenstein, but that didn't even come close. Like, it was very visceral and cool, and definitely inspiring. So it was really cool to be able to have conversations with him and stuff. Got an album I've been enjoying. I've been really, really into this band called Fucked Up. Everything they make is golden to me. I love it. And I know it's not for everybody, especially the vocals, but it is beautiful. Like, the music is amazing. And I highly recommend checking them out. I think the best place to start would be, there's a song off of a mini EP, like it's a 2-song thing, called Year of the Hare. I highly recommend you check that out. The first song's 13 minutes long. You check that out, listen to it, and if you like that, you'll like the band, because it's super, super cool. I'm not into Slayer, sorry. I never really got into traditional 80s, 90s metal. It never did that much for me. I'm also not into like traditional prog rock either. A lot of my friends are, but I tend to like really visceral and emotional music, like with where I can feel the emotion in the vocals and the lyrics and the music itself. Did my parent have a university degree? My dad never graduated from middle school. My dad was illiterate until I was like 7 or 8 years old, completely. He couldn't even read me books when I was a baby. He faked it through middle school, I think, and he didn't go to high school. My mom graduated from high school, didn't go to college. So, no, not at all. My grandmother really wanted me to go to college, and I got into an art school, the Arts Academy of San Francisco, on a scholarship, and obviously my family was poor. And she said she would pay my way there if anything happened, and it turned out that like it was like $30,000. They wanted $30,000 up front for the year, because all my scholarships said that I had to maintain a B average in order for them to pay for my studies. And I'm like, okay, well, I can do that. Like, I've never not done well when it came to art, so I don't see myself going lower than a B. But they're like, oh no, we need security that'll happen. So we need this money up front, and then we'll give it back to you if you do it. And I had gone for a week and a half. I was commuting from Santa Cruz to San Francisco, and I hated it. It fucking sucked. Everybody there felt so creatively void, and I felt so out of place. Like, I really thought I was going to fit in. I think at the time I had just broke up with my high school girlfriend, and I thought, I'm going to find some cool art girl who's anything, like this whole new world's going to open up to me. And I got there, and I just felt like a total outcast still. I didn't seem to have the same values that anybody else had, and I didn't understand what I was doing. And going to college to get a piece of paper that said that I was qualified when it came to being an illustrator or anything else like that felt so stupid. And I felt like I could really teach myself and motivate myself enough. I'd already made so many different comics. Right after that meeting with them, I just said, no, I'm done. I'm not going to go to college. I'm just going to go home, and I'm going to work on my own projects. And that's basically what happened for me. But I always got to remember when I tell that story to make sure people know that not everybody's like that. Like, I've always been a super self-motivated person. I have a great deal of motivation for my creative endeavors, and I always have since I was quite young, since like middle school. So it wasn't hard for me to go from quitting college to obsessively making websites and interactive comics and just throwing myself into, like, you can go back on Newgrounds and see how much work I was pumping out in like 2000, 2001. And I was making tons of different websites and just trying to learn as much as I possibly could then. and I was still making comics and trying to get them distributed. And yeah, so it's just, college isn't for everybody. And I think Tyler's the same way too. I remember Tyler he had already made like 30 something games, and then he was like, yeah, I'm going to go to some game design school in Washington. And I remember telling him, dude, just quit. I can guarantee you are as skilled or more skilled than the teachers that are teaching you. It doesn't make any sense. Like, you are already a game designer. You don't need to go to school for it. But again, it's isolated. Like, not everybody is self-motivated. And not everybody has it in them to be independent, because it is something where you sacrifice your whole fucking life. You really do. Like, you live it. It's just like being a musician or whatever else. Like, you're on tour constantly. You're living it. And your relationships suffer due to it. Your health suffers due to it. Your financial situation suffers due to it. It's essentially being a starving artist. And it doesn't always pan out. But there are some people who are built to do this and nothing else, because if they're not doing this, they're not happy. So it's like, if it makes you happy and you're self-motivated, you just fucking figure out what you're going to do to keep yourself happy and fed. And you can figure that out if you're smart. You just got to juggle a lot of stuff. I remember doing, after Gish, before I was making any money, doing like a 7-hour day at the office with Alex, working on projects there, coming home, eating dinner with Danielle, going back to work on the work that I would need to do to pay the rent, which was like a bunch of freelance work, magazine covers, illustration, logos, sort of stuff like that, boring stuff. Then after I was done with that, I would spend the whole night, get very little sleep, and just work on my own projects. So it's, I look back and it's like, I don't know how I was able to do it and also maintain a relationship. But which is a challenge in itself, which is a job in itself for anybody who knows how much work, relationships take as well. Because it wasn't just all that stuff, but I also had to make time for Danielle and make sure that we were close and happy and things were progressing forward, and I wasn't, eating up her happiness with my priority. So, yeah. But everything can be figured out if you just think about it enough. Okay, I'm going to skip down to the bottom. Okay, where is this thing? Okay, I'm scrolling up just a little bit because I skipped a bunch. Am I ever going to stream Drafting Magic again? I would love to. Again, I have a small amount of time here, and I have to get off of here very soon because I think my time is out. Yeah, I gotta go. I got a minute before I gotta get out of here. But yeah, sure. What do I think about Daft Punk and Kraftwerk? Not a huge fan of electronica music. Doesn't do it for me. Daft Punk is a bit too dance, a bit too upbeat for my liking. Danielle says I like music to slit your wrists to, which is probably true. And neither of those bands, unless you just hate the music, would make you want to kill yourself. So, what was the band again? The band was called Fucked Up. I've heard Death Grips is great. I've listened to like one song. It didn't grab me, but I might go in again. Do I like Alice in Chains? Yes, I like Alice in Chains. My favorite 2 albums of theirs are, I like Sap, and I like their like acousticy, weird, extra depressing stuff, like less rock heavy. So Jar of Flies and Sap are my favorite ones. But yeah. Did you date a lot before Danielle? I stupidly got into a terrible relationship in high school with a crazy girl who was very abusive and just terrible overall. I dated her for 2 years, so I threw away 2 years of high school dating time. After that, I casually dated like some of my friends, and that did not pan out either. And then met Danielle, and we've been together for 20 years. So not a ton, but I'm really picky. After my initial girlfriend, I think I got super fucking picky, and I realized like I don't want to be in any fucking relationship unless this girl is really cool. And Danielle was quite cool, is quite cool. But when I met her, she was like the epitome of a super angsty little punk girl who would shave off her hair randomly and spit at people. And I think on our like second date, we went and had Burger King, and when the date was over, she was like, "Let me get a refill," and I was like, "Okay." And she had like this fucking giant king-sized Coke, and she fills it up, and we walk outside, and she just takes it and she smashes it onto the ground for no fucking reason. And I was like, "Yeah, okay." Like it was, she's always been exciting, and she does what she wants, and she doesn't have a censor, and she's a challenge in all the right ways, and always has been. So we've been inseparable since. Like I don't think we've really, outside of her, when she was in the hospital for when she had Peach, she had a C-section, so she was in the hospital for 5 days, and those were like the only days that we didn't actually like spend the night together since way back when. So yeah, we've been inseparable for ages. Thank you, Takara. Yeah, I gotta get going. I'll do one more random. Here's a question. I'm almost done with my bachelor's in graphic design. I'm scared of the pressure of entering full-time work, and I feel like my clients won't value my work. How can I just put myself out there? As myself? That's a challenge. So this is my strategy, and this is what I did when I needed work. I remember thinking to myself, I had this portfolio. It was a portfolio of my own weird work. So it's like literally like dead baby dress up, dick jokes, bunch of terrible shit. It's like, how can I get work with that? So the first thing I fucking did was I went around and I emailed a lot of local places I could actually meet and talk to. And I just said, listen, I'm trying to build a portfolio. I'm pretty good, especially at like mascot logo design. I'm willing to work for free just so I can get my stuff in a portfolio that looks professional. I did that for a few months, and then I started to get a portfolio together, and I used that portfolio to get to secure another random job. It was called Your Music Magazine. Ended up doing the logo for that, got paid for that, and then you just gotta fucking work it. There's a lot of effort that goes in. Like I remember their covers sucked. And I remember telling him, like, your covers suck. Like, I can do a better job. How much you paying the cover guy? Like, I could outdo that. And give me the job. And he was like, well, I don't really like that guy that much either way. Sure, I'll give you a chance. And then I got hired on doing that monthly. And I think it was like $400 for a cover and a page, one random page in there that I was doing some like weird comics and stuff for. And that was super solid for me for quite a while. It's all about rapid fire emails. Just I probably sent out 1,000 emails, heard back from 9 people, and one of those 9 people gave me work. But you got to put in the effort to do it. Just do what's logical. Just think about it yourself. If you were in the situation of an employer and you were approached by yourself, what would you have to say to yourself in order to get the job? And stuff really snowballs. Like once you put a brick down, it's all about building the staircase to where you want to get to. And as long as you're putting down a brick every day and doing something significant with your art, even if it's just drawing a really cool picture and putting it in a portfolio, making a comic, or even making a contact that's solid, you're building towards something bigger. So within a few years, the people that I had contacted and done free work for, they were giving me jobs. And the people that I had worked with, people from the past that knew my comics and stuff like that, started like talking to me. And I'd always take the opportunity to ask, hey, if you ever need anybody to do X, Y, Z, I could use the money. And it works. Like you need to have that drive to put yourself out there and not be scared to just do it. You don't need to say you're the greatest fucking person in the world at art. There's plenty of people that are always going to be better than you, but maybe you're a little cheaper. Maybe you're more efficient, or maybe they just don't have access to those people. Like it's once you get your foot in the door, things move a lot more smoothly. And that's just kind of how it works. But it does take a lot of work. I'm not going to lie. Like I was very stressed out when I was juggling a bunch of different freelance jobs. And I remember staying up and just every night quantifying how much we had in savings, how many months that would buy us, usually maybe 1 or 2. And if I didn't get work, how screwed were we? I remember waking Danielle up at night and being like, if I don't find contract work this month, like we're fucked, and I don't know what we're gonna do because no one we know has money. We can't borrow money. Like how are we gonna do this? But it always worked out because I always then put extra effort into doing it. I remember people used to give me shit back in the day. Like I remember thinking, like when Indie Game the movie came out, people would comment on the toys that I had and stuff like that. Like how do I have money for toys? And blah 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 blah. It's like even though I was very poor. I was making less than $20,000 a year. I could still live. I could live poor. It's not that hard to live poor. It's good to learn how to live poor. And then you can still fuel whatever makes you happy. Like I was still playing Magic. I remember saving up. I would literally do extra freelance work. And if I got more than what I needed and I could put some away in savings, when I went over a threshold, I was like, oh, this t-shirt design fell out of the sky and it's $100. I can put that on Magic, or I can put that on, going to the flea market and buying toys, or I can put that on going out and eating sushi and stuff like that. Like it's, things get easier the more effort you put in, and you can't be afraid to do it. I hope that makes sense. I hope that helps somebody, but yeah, so I think I'm going to get off here, and, hopefully something that I said was helpful. I really do like being asked those questions, about, I guess, businessy questions, like artist questions and stuff like that. I like being able to share information with people that are, like me and are going through the same sort of stuff that I've gone through because I do have a good deal of experience with that. And I feel like I can shed some light on the options artists have, because, I've been through it. Okay. I will see you guys next time. I'd like to do this like once a week or whatever. And I hope you enjoyed my drawings, and I hope this was fun. Take it easy.